Scott. How are you?
Happy birthday, Scott.
Hi, Don. Happy birthday.
Hey, Scotty. We hear it's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Hi, Scott. I really wanted to have a chance to wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I think it's really important when someone like you goes over the edge here that you have all the possible support you can get from everybody you know.
You are pretty much the perfect example of what it means to be a good person, and you demonstrate love and honesty and compassion every day. It's extremely comforting knowing that you're always in my corner, and now that I'm older, I realize that others aren't always as lucky.
Your one-liners that are so dry and witty and always have me dying.
Of course, I can't help but say the reason I love you so much is you make my best friend so very, very happy. But you yourself are an amazing person, and I love you. And
B, your cooking. Like the grilled pancakes, maybe the greatest things in my life, along with all the amazing like fish dips and fish that you make. So, high five.
You're this big, burly, macho man, but you don't act like one. You're so fun to have around.
You're so generous. Like, you've actually taught everybody in your life and who's grown up around you how to be generous in the world and how to do things that are selfless and loving and caring. And it's been such a opportunity for me to understand what that looks like. And, you know, people really just can't thank you enough for it.
See, the most important thing and the thing I love most about you is how much you love this family and how happy you make everyone, whether it's Susan or your 4 kids. You are just so loving and generous with that love.
You are such a great teacher. Every time we get together, I just learn a lot. The best part is that what I'm learning is always really useful. You never teach me about just some random obscure trivia or anything like that. It's always just things that are useful and that I can actually use in my life. And you really teach how to get things done. It's so natural. I'm not sure you're always aware of it, but it just is obvious that it comes as second nature to you.
I think that it has to be his selflessness. I think that Scott just does so much for so many people, and he does it without asking for anything in return. And I really admire that and respect it, and have always found that to be Scott's greatest quality. He's done so many things for Matt and I, and he's done so many things for me over the years, even when I was a horrible teenager.
My love for Scott is not singular. He's got that enviable combination of wisdom and patience that the best teachers have. You know, when you're learning with Scott, he gives you the space to fuck up and make mistakes, but then will come back with a smile on his face and help you put the pieces back together.
You're smart and you're fun and you're creative and you're a wonderful companion. You show me new things. You often cheer me up. You often make me laugh. And you can be serious with me and go deep.
You're a terrific person, a great brother-in-law. I'm proud to have you as a brother-in-law.
A guy who just knows so much about everything that it's really exciting and fun to be around you. For that reason, you just have a natural curiosity and knowledge about so many things. And
I don't know of anybody else who, every time I spend time with you, it's a great experience. It's something that we remember for a long, long time. So
is your commitment to people, and I think that has been really well exemplified by the years that you spent working with your students at the Carroll School.
And then leveraging that experience at the Carroll School, you're forever the teacher. You've got so many things to teach. You spend so much of your time and your generosity teaching us, whether it's fishing or harmonica or blacksmithing or tree cutting or training of dogs, and most importantly, volleyball up at camp.
In everything you do, you're really a real craftsman and a real hard worker. That shows up in all the planning you did for the Scouts. It shows up in the Maine Forge project. It shows up in your career.
A total sweet guy. I felt like he really just came into this family and especially your family, and was a kind, gentle role model for Jenna and Taz, and a sweet, loving, present partner for Susie.
Selflessness. You're always thinking of others, perhaps more than anyone I know, and it's a very rare quality, and it just reflects wonderfully about you and your family and everyone that loves you.
And you picked me up in your red truck, and we listened to music, and we just got to catch up and get to know each other. And I will never forget, I asked you like what that little thing was on the side of the road that had the bumps, and you just drove right over it. It was the rumble strip, and you told me all about what the rumble strip was. And to this day, every time I see a rumble strip, I think of our drive, and that you taught me that little nugget of information. So it's something I'll never forget.
When I go visit him.
What do you do when you go visit? Anything? You remember anything? How about going fishing and to the beach and all that stuff, right?
The beach.
Yeah.
The beach, she said.
That's cool.
One of my favorite memories is we were going to a concert, and traffic was bad, and there was an accident. Someone was injured on the side of the road, and you raced out immediately to help, and I'm like, wow, that's something, And then Susie informed me that you had training, medical training in helping in emergency situations, and you're of great comfort to that woman. And you're such a Renaissance person, all the various skills and interests. It doesn't surprise me that you're also an EMT.
Drinking wine and listening to some really cool conspiracy theories.
Hiking across the Pyrenees. Going up our advanced trip to the Allagash to case things out and having a spaghetti dinner together before the whole troops arrived from Lincoln. I remember cutting up that old dead raccoon on the dining room table.
When we came home from China at, maybe 2, 3 in the morning, and Scott had driven all the way down from Massachusetts to meet Susan and all of us at the airport in the middle of the night. So that was amazing.
Meeting you not in person, but through some very tender, affectionate words from our dear friend Susie when she spoke of your kindness and compassion and very big heart. And then when I met you in Lexington, it all was so very true.
When we come up to see you guys and we just hang out and jam.
I first met you in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico, when we were investigating the conspiracy about the Martian landing. Oh no, we weren't even born then.
Playing in your forge and hammering out all our frustrations, making some wonderful things for our wood stove.
Oh yeah, it must have been over the Paul McCartney conspiracy of whether Paul McCartney is really not him, but his lookalike.
You provided Hannah and I with very unique experiences that made our childhood very memorable. And from teaching us how to fish and camp to hosting Eddie ball games in the backyard, you always tried to give us the best of everything, even when times were tough, and ensure that we had everything that we needed for a happy and successful life.
I don't know when I met you, Scotty, but in any case, we love you very much, and you're just one of the most generous and kind persons that we know.
Hanging out in the man cave with you.
Cool.
One of my favorite memories is when he yelled at me for the first time after I'd screamed at my mom and slammed my bedroom door in her face. Not in an effort to parent or discipline me, but just to defend and protect the woman that he loved.
We spent the day together pulling up lobster traps, and you really showed us the ropes and made sure that a couple of rookies both learned what they were doing and didn't get themselves killed.
Coming to Maine for a conference and coming home of the day of the conference, or maybe it was the night before, I can't even remember, but it was just this gorgeous dinner with drinks and shellfish and steamed clams and lobster and music. It was just luxury.
He just showed up this weekend with the most beautiful curtain rods for my nursery. And, I was hesitant to ask because I never like asking too much out of anyone, but he never makes it feel like you're asking him too much. And he always seems happy to do it. And it's just such a special addition to my house and my new family, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that.
I had to mount the new television set for my parents at Victoria Muse Assisted Living in New Jersey, their new home. Scott got out his box of tools and did the job perfectly, while Phil and I did our best to help out. I remember being a little envious and also admiring Scott's ability to work with his hands and get the job done.
Last year, Christmas in Maine, over the holidays, you welcomed me into your home in Brunswick. You hung out with me, taught me how to blacksmith, made some delicious food, and it was just a joy getting to laugh with you and hang out with you over the holidays.
But there are two memories I hold the dearest. The time we spent building his forge together in Maine a few summers ago. Driving around driving the lumber yard with the windows down, discussing, lyrics of Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, and the beauty of the blues, and the strength of music that comes from just down and out hard times.
Pond hockey with Scott, and just the enthusiasm with which he got all of us kids out on the ice, like clearing off all the snow and getting everybody ready and the gear, and just like having so much excitement to play and to screw around. And some of us weren't that great, but it was so fun.
We were at the market and we were lucky enough to meet one of your heroes, Bernie Sanders. I myself was starstruck at first, but it was also just awesome watching you see him. You could tell that you could barely handle it. You couldn't stop looking at the pictures on your phone, and the rest of the day you were talking to everybody on Facebook and talking to everyone you know. You just had to tell everyone about it. I could really see how happy you were, and you couldn't contain it at all. So I'm glad that you get to meet one of your heroes. You definitely deserve it.
Fast forward to last summer, when I was helping Alana move into her apartment, packing and transporting furniture, building her new space, I found myself leading the charge. I stepped up and carried more than my own weight, and I knew how to do things and to think first about the best way to do them. And I finally felt like someone that others could depend on, and it was one of the first times I truly felt like a man capable of providing for the people I love. And I learned that all from Scott, watching him and working alongside him for all these years.
One of my great memories from Lincoln was that wintry day that you and I went over to the barn and did some blacksmithing, and you taught me the ABCs of blacksmithing. And I remember we had to be so close to the forge to keep our fingers, at least my fingers and toes, from kind of crisping up in the cold.
A work meeting, and I got out around 11:30. I was in Maine for a conference, and I text Matt to find out where he and Scott are, and he says Maine Brewing Company. So at 11:30 in the morning, that is, I drive to Maine Brewing Company and find my husband and my Uncle Scott pretty well toasted at 11:30 in the morning. And it was hilarious. I'm glad that I picked them up. And I just was so happy that, Scott, he barely knew Matt at the time, and they were just having a great time together, and Scotty just said no problem and took him out and showed him a great time, and it is always trying to convince us to move to Maine, and hopefully one day that'll pay off. But it just sticks with me as a hilarious sight to see of two grown men probably have just tasted about 30 beers at 11 in the morning. I think it was like a Tuesday.
All the dinners that we used to have together back in Lexington in particular, when Rich would be on the road and I'd run over to your house and you'd make me some delicious seafood dinner, and we'd have a few glasses of wine and all get laughing and telling stories, you, me, and Susan. And I just it really made my week a lot of times.
And the special things that you do with us and teach us and help us and, all that stuff.
Amen.
Goodbye.
I am so grateful to know you, and I, wish you the happiest of birthdays.
Happy 60th. Here we are together. I'm very, very grateful, and I love you deeply. Happy birthday.
I really want to wish you the very best as you go into this new adventure. And it is an adventure.
Happy 60th birthday.
And we love you, Scott.
We love you. Bye.
Scott, I'll never be able to.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Happy birthday, Scott.
I couldn't have asked for a better father, and I am so proud that you're mine. So happy birthday, Dad. Love you.
Thank you for always making me feel part of the family. So happy birthday, Scott.
Everybody, pick him up.
Okay.
Got him? 1, 2, 3. And that's Shemp. Happy birthday, Scott. We love you. Have a great birthday.
And it goes a little something like this. Scotty!
Happy birthday, Scott. Would you stop eating birthday cake and come and help me play this thing?